edition of Silicon Grapevine. Today, my guest is Humi Esaka, who's CEO of Ambiq Micro. Humi, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So, Humi,
Yes.
you're with Ambiq Micro. Before we go into your journey, just tell us a little bit about Ambiq Micro and what Ambiq Micro is really good at.
Well, again, Ambiq Micro is a technology platform company. We have a really, really fundamental power optimization technology that can enable almost all the semiconductor to be very power efficient, especially in the world of AI. We believe that the AI's energy efficiency is really key for the AI success, and I think our company can enable almost all those AI product into a very energy efficient product.
And you're into a lot of smartwatches and things like that in terms of your chip.
That's a starting. Yes, we started with wearables just because that was really kind of easy market to go into. As a startup, we really need to start somewhere.
Right.
Really quick turnaround time.
Okay.
And that's how we started with smartwatches. But again, AI at the edge is almost everywhere, and we expect it to go from glasses, and it's just unimaginable thing that's going to happen in AI at the edge.
I think that's what we're seeing right now. So Ambiq started in 2011. You joined in 2015. We'll go into a little bit more about that, but let's go back to the beginning for you.
Right.
How did you get into the industry, or what made you grew up in Japan? And then you sort of were inspired by something, weren't you?
Okay. Yes. So
I think it was a early computer.
Again, when I grew up, the game and toy was cardboard game, like Uno and all those card games, right?
Yeah.
Then during my junior high school, this wonderful games like Nintendo, like some people may not even know Commodore 64.
Some of our viewers will know that we have a diverse audience.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, then that's like really wow to my life.
Yeah.
Right. And that's when I started like thinking about, wow, computer is real.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was young, computer was not real. Right?
Yeah.
Was supposed to be seeing at some kind of like movie or something. But then I started to see firsthand that real computer is real.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to study about the computer. That's why I went to school to learn about electric engineering, computer science.
So it was, you were inspired in Tokyo, but you then went to school in San Diego.
San Diego.
So how did you make that move? Is that because you chose a college because you were expected to choose a college somewhere in the world?
Well, not only that. Again, UC San Diego had a supercomputer. I think there was only like few in the United States and the world.
Yeah.
They had a supercomputer, and definitely, I mean, I heard that the supercomputer can do billions times more calculation than an Atari or Commodore 64. So I wanted to try it out.
Right.
That's how I started.
And it was a script. It was a script.
Well, no.
At that time,
supercomputer was in San Diego because of Scripps Institute.
Scripps Institute.
Oceanography, but the UC San Diego had the computer center.
Okay.
Right. It was amazing, though. I got to tell you, I think it was the room was as big as one of the gymnasium. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, yeah, I remember. I remember seeing PDP-11s and the VAX.
Right.
And all that. So it's kind of an era which I think maybe our younger audience may not be able to fathom. Although, having said that, today's data center is very much like what those computers were then.
It is, but I don't know. Do you remember the time that you have to get on the Unix?
Yeah.
and set called set BT100 or something like that to get which terminal you're working on,
That's
so
right,
that you
yes.
can communicate with Unix, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Those are the times, and I still remember the time that I was programming COBOL
Oh, yes. Okay.
with punch card.
Well, there you go. That's a long time ago. So, you graduated, but then what was next? You didn't really go into the industry. You went into consulting.
So at that time it was called Arthur Anderson.
Mm.
Later became Anderson Consulting, then became Accenture later.
Yeah.
It was very, during schooling, I just was very into computer, but also was interested in business.
Okay.
So a mixture of a business and computer. Accenture, or now it's Accenture, Arthur Anderson at the time had a consulting division that helps customer to do system integration. So that's how I started my career.
And how did you get that job? Was it because you applied, or they said, oh, they came to the college and they found a few people?
It was very interesting background. So Arthur Anderson was starting called Japan International Network.
Mm.
Again, Arthur Anderson was based in Chicago.
Yeah.
And was more U.S. based, but at the time they were expanding business to Japan and Japanese customer.
Mm.
And so I was fortunate enough to get their attention.
Okay.
So that, just it was a little bit cheating about how to get into the Arthur Anderson as well.
It's not cheating. It's luck. It's serendipity.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so you did a few years consulting, and then what happened?
Well, again, one of semiconductor company was my client.
Yes.
So it was time. Again, consulting is great, but running business, doing really executing instead of advising, became very attractive to me.
Right.
Right. So I wanted to do something instead of just telling somebody what to do, right, and recommending what to do.
Yeah.
So I wanted to run the business. That's how I just decided to move on to the semiconductor company, and it was very eye-opening, right?
So what was that first role that?
I was running customer service, and then system and customer service.
For which company?
International Rectifier.
Okay, IR. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's a bit of history. So
right, it's definitely a history. Then I run some sales in Japan.
Okay.
Then moved on to one of their affiliated. Well, it used to be subsidiary, but affiliated company called NIEC, which was having a little bit of financial trouble. So went there to revitalize the company.
And I think if you read your bio, you turn that around. So
yes, it was challenging. Well, again, got the government help, Japanese government help, and then a lot of shareholder support. Believe it, today, US $1 is 157. When I was CEO, there was a big earthquake in Japan, and yen became about 74 to 75 yen per dollar.
No.
And when you're doing exporting a lot of diode and semiconductors, it was really challenging.
Right. Yeah.
So exchange rate really made my life really difficult. But again, a lot of help and great team at the NIC made a great recovery, and now I believe it's part of a big company in Japan.
All right. And so then that, I think, was that 10, 11 years, something like that?
I think that was recovery was about 5 years.
Okay.
And then during that time, met the great, two founders from Transform.
Right.
It's a great gallium nitride company, and again, we kind of did a joint project to build a gallium nitride diode.
Right.
That's how we met. And when I graduated from NIC, they were kind of nice enough to say, okay, hey, let's run a company together.
Okay.
That's how I joined Transform.
Okay. And then you had a success there as well, I guess.
I believe. I mean, Transform team is a really wonderful team. 2 founders, and also we got a great business partner. I think Fujitsu.
Yes.
They gave us a lot of support. They offered one of the fab in Japan.
Got it. Yeah.
To build gallium nitride devices, and I think that's been a great opportunity for Transform to the next level. And again, Transform, I think it's public knowledge, but it became a part of again, Japanese company sometimes in a few months.
Right. So then from Transform, what attracted you to Ambiq?
Well,
and you've got a story, and I'm not sure how much you want to tell.
Well, again, gallium nitride was great product, and then silicon carbide gallium nitride, I know that is next generation product. And right now, our major shareholder from Kleiner Perkins, now he runs Matter Venture Partners, Dr. Wenshai. When I was at the Transform, he also invested into Ambiq. And he gave me an introduction about this great technology company does the power effective, platform, power efficient platform that is as good as the new materials. So I thought, wow, this is a wonderful company that have a great future.
And you actually thought you were going to go and have some little bit of spare time, but he said, no, we want you to come and join pretty much immediately after you finished.
So yes, we finished Transform on November 30th.
Yeah.
In the evening.
Yeah. And
first meeting to meet my team in Austin was actually had to be at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. So the time difference, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So you leave Santa Barbara in the evening. To get to Austin, you have to take a red-eye flight.
Right. Yeah.
So I am sure that our founder, CTO Scott, remembers that I got there early in the morning.
Okay.
And that day, I was be able to meet the team, wonderful team at the Ambiq. But board meeting was in San Francisco that day. So I went from Santa Barbara, LA, red-eye flight to Austin, meet my team, flew right back into San Francisco, then had a board meeting.
Interesting. And I mean, you mentioned Wenshai. I think he's been quite an influence in some of your career, hasn't he?
He has been inspiration. Again, his background is a very unique background, but I mean, he really believes in a heart attack. He started a new venture, a spin-off from KPCB, and his LPs of who's who of the electronics world. I'm sure that you have a chance to talk to them. You will find out that
it's public information anyway. So
right.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
TSMC, ASML, Quanta, MediaTek, Singapore government, almost everybody who's who of the world. But also he really believes in a heart attack. And if you remember 2015-16, you had to have a .com to be successful.
Right.
But even during that time, he really believed in a heart attack.
Yeah.
And I think he still does. And I think that's really inspiration. And we can talk later. Now, hardware was very important, but it became software world. Now become AI. Integration of hardware and software is really key for the future success.
One of my first guests on this show was Naveen Chadha of Mayfield, and he basically talked about the same thing. So it's quite the renaissance of silicon.
Exactly. I mean, silicon was taken for granted, and now that the AI becomes so important and machine learning, inference at the like a chip level, with software integration, it's
so much more complex now than
it is complex. But that's another thing about the AI, right? it helps people to do development faster. So AI will help more AI product to be developed. I mean, it's really sophisticated, but the development time is going to be shorter and shorter, and more product will be out in the market very soon. I mean, it's already data center AI is really, really great product, but edge AI will be more.
I think you've kind of answered my next question, but what excites you most in the industry right now? And I know you're going to have the official line, which is edge intelligence with Ambiq, but more broadly, I mean, what's your sort of real take on what's happening and your excitement about the industry?
Well, this industry, again, you just stole my line, but what we really believe in is that this edge AI and even AI is going to help people's life much better. And, there is a lot of product that exciting and something that are new. But to me, it's this AI at the edge will help somebody age much better and more exciting without feeling their age. So if you, I mean, you're young, but
Thank you.
do you remember that the time that people like you say that I know that guy. He's great. We used to work together so well, and like spend so much time together. The name just disappears from your head.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then you lose all the credibility, and you really know. Those days will be gone, right? I'm not sure if it's glasses, earbud, or even whatever it is.
Neural implants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You won't be able to tell.
Neuralink.
So you will age.
Yeah.
Without feeling age is going to happen. I believe that in 10 years, when I hit retirement age, I think my life is going to be much better, or maybe the same as today.
And that sort of leads me to a question. What's your favorite bit of technology that you use every day? I mean, I guess the phone is the main one, but...
Well, my phone is great.
There must be other things.
I mean, computer is great. Also, earbud.
Okay.
And those things are great things too.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
And what's your vision for where you're going to take, whether it's Ambiq or any other company? Where do you see the next sort of few years, the development of technology?
Well, technology, I mean, all the devices that you're using, either earbud, smartwatches, ring, whatever you're using, is going to have intelligence there. And it's going to have a more user-friendly, better, not only interface, right? It's going to be able to assist you in many ways, including clear noise reduction, your watch understand you better. I used to get smartwatches that the beeps when your heart rate goes above 130 or preset numbers.
Yeah.
Right. It's not it's not happening anymore because it learns what you're doing.
Right.
So that if you're jogging and heart rate goes up, it's not going to start beeping you, right? So a lot of things is going to be very, very associated with your activities, what you're doing, will be understood by your devices.
Right.
And will be able to help you.
And what do you feel is your greatest achievement in your career, in your life?
Well, I'm you know what? I think I'm on the way to achieve the greatest things at Ambiq. I really believe that Ambiq's product and technology platform is the things that will help almost all the population of the world. Power efficiency can be achieved with advanced node.
Okay. And I mean, it's not all work. What do you do for your hobby? What do you like to do? I know you're traveling around the world quite a lot. So
Again, that's not my hobby. Actually, if I can avoid it, that's great. And to tell the truth, I think that certain travel can be reduced by more advanced technology. You can start feeling, Zoom is great. I mean, those, like all those, like, computer meetings are great, but still doesn't have a touch
yeah,
for human. Like, we could be doing this Zoom, and I'm sure that this is like really still a great video,
yeah,
but seeing you in this close
yeah.
will give me more great feeling.
And yeah, better interaction. I think,
Interaction, yes.
But so have you got sports? Have you got some other
Well,
things that you're interested in?
Well, I used to play golf all the time. You can see that, like doing business in Japan, golf was one of the fun things to do.
Golf and whiskey?
Well, whiskey, unfortunately, I'm not good with alcohol. So, we do drink with whenever needed.
Okay.
But, but I think golfing was one of the greatest things. And it was, let me tell you one funny things. Golf watch.
Oh, yes, yeah.
This is one of the greatest achievements
sort
for
of
me.
Measure your drive and...
Well, that's not really. So golf watch was made, many countries, but it was most of the golf assumed that 18 hole through play.
Okay.
Okay. In Asia, it's different. You play golf. Well, first you meet for the breakfast, play 9 hole. You go to clubhouse, have a drink and a lunch.
Yeah.
Then play the second half.
Yeah.
Old golf watches in Japan, especially, died on me on the 14th or 15th hole.
Okay, power.
That's the last 3 holes, most important hole,
Exactly,
right?
Yeah.
So it died.
Yeah, oh dear. Yeah.
And I believe Ambiq now allows those golf watches to last at least 2 games, including like with clubhouse and all those, GPS is always on. So
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
when you go inside the clubhouse, actually your watch uses more energy, but Ambiq was enabled to.
I love how you can get this around to how Ambiq is good. So that's good, great.
Well,
So
no,
good.
it's just it was just I feel like a personal achievement,
Good,
right?
good.
It's like
So let's. One thing I always ask is, what would you advise a young Humi, and now that you know what you know, and what you've achieved in life?
Well, one of the things that I always talk to a lot of people is to not be afraid of making mistakes. I'll be honest with you, I'm not one of those intelligent person, but I have almost a warehouse full of mistakes that I made.
Right.
And with those mistakes, I can tell you, even I have a meeting with my staff at Ambiq. Why can I, how can I guide them? It's because I made a mistake, same mistake before, right?
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of making mistakes and learn from mistakes. And I believe the greatest leader always have tons of experience with mistakes.
Yep.
And that's how they make themselves better. So my advice is that when you're young, continue to do what you think is the best. And don't be afraid of making mistakes, but also don't look back too much about mistakes. Just learn from mistakes and make yourself better.
Great advice. Humi, thank you very much.
Thank you.